Sharina was living out her car. She will only be able to come up to the apartment at night.
When I first met Sharina, he was attempting to get her to live out of her car. She could only visit the apartment at night, so he was counting on a sister like Timberline Hunter to do an amazing interview and divulge everything. A lot of time was spent speculating that Kevin had been cheating on Wendy from the beginning, and that he had in fact had an affair with a few women, including the one immediately after Kevin Jr. was born. The nasty side facts about the family. If I'm being completely honest, Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson's treatment of Wendy Williams was pretty vile, far worse. They might have planned Wendy's demise from the start, which is far worse, and yet nobody again to talk to. But the times now were even deeper than they ever were in my life. I couldn't quote my mom, dad, or sister because they would have just said just leave, still in love. I don't know what to do like, are you serious with this? This is really going down. Wendy, on the other hand, made the decision to remain with her husband in spite of discovering that he was a habitual adulterer. She justified her decision by saying, "I love him and he loves me," and we addressed it head on, and it was a mutual decision. I know this is cliché, but it's true. Forgiveness has strengthened our marriage. I'm not going back to the girl I was before him. When you get stung like that, you never go back to who you are. Although Wendy acknowledged that she never thought she would be the type of person to stay with a cheater, she did so for whatever reason. She said, "I have way too much to offer a man to stick around for him cheating on me." At the time, Wendy was working as a radio personality and was earning a wonderful salary. I had my own vacation property and the world was my oyster, so I firmly believed I wouldn't be staying for any cheating. But I did, and I have no regrets. Furthermore, there have been a few unpleasant receipts linked to the allegations of adultery, such as the one from 2008, when Wendy Williams was charged with ignoring Nicole Spence's claims of being sexually harassed while working as a talent booker on the Wendy Williams program. Do you also remember when Evelyn Lozada attacked Wendy on Twitter, claiming that Kevin went to her Miami store and bought some expensive shoes for a different woman who was obviously not his wife? She literally wrote on Twitter, "You want me to open Deuce and La? Maybe your man can come to that store and buy shoes for another woman like he did at my Miami store." Just in case you were curious. Indeed, Kevin had an affair with Wendy for many years, but the longest-lasting relationship was with Sharina, who he dated for 15 years while he was still married to Wendy. The two planned their entire life together, even how Kevin and Sharon met, as was disclosed in an interview with Chopped. Kevin Hunter's claim that Sharina is from the same town in South Carolina as Charlemagne the God is untrue, as Charlemagne acknowledged having introduced Kevin to Sharina, though he did not approve of their relationship on its own. After all of that, Kevin and Sharina were said to have lived out of her car when they first started dating. Kevin's sister, Kimberlyn Hunter, was more than happy to discuss that aspect of the relationship's development. She even hinted that it was likely part of a plan, so that should Wendy ever see Sharina and Kevin's home, where Charlemagne was also residing, Charlemagne would claim that she was his lady. She confirmed that Charlemagne was involved in the connection. Charlemagne played a significant role in that. For example, if Wendy decided to pop up, I suppose Charlemagne would be the ones who, in essence, would say, "Oh, she's my girl." Sharina knew precisely what she was getting into, but she was prepared to go to any lengths to ensure that she would never return to her village. Being Kevin's side chick was also made simple by the fact that he readily agreed to take part in whatever scheme she had in mind. It was allegedly the goal to irritate Wendy to the point where she would give up leaving Kevin with Wendy's riches to enjoy with Sharina. We all know how Wendy's life descended into chaos when she learned about Kevin and Sharina. After all, she was in and out of sober residences, and things only got worse after Sharina got pregnant. and filed for divorce for some time now, and even today. And beyond I have been living in a sober house, I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home lights out by 10 p.m. So I go to my room and I stare at the ceiling. And I fall asleep to wake up to come back here to see you, so that is my truth. The problem with Sharina and Kevin being together all this time is this Miss Wendy Williams was informed he was tricking up money. She's in the passenger seat of my Rolls-Royce Ferrari. And really, Wendy probably found out that Kevin was leading a double life very quickly, considering that she made a livelihood by researching other individuals. I've known about her almost since the beginning. I've known that Kevin is a serial chief in truth. Mrs. Wendy was fully aware of Sharina's entrance into their lives, as well as her schemes to date Kevin. She was one of these, less than smart women who moved to the big city with bright lights, and she wanted to be a model. And so how the girls with the sparkler champagne bottles at the club, they get people to spend more money, they dress scantily clad and things like that. And additionally, during their time together, Sharina allegedly expressed her admiration for Wendy and even had the nerve to tell Kevin's self very available to him. She was very disrespectful to me. Do you know, he had the nerve to tell me that she admires me since everything blew up in 2019. After that Daily Mail expose, I genuinely believe Sharina was the one spilling her own tea to push Kevin's hand at some time, since this is when we learned how Kevin was spoiling his side chick with Wendy's money by buying her pricey clothes and jewelry and starting various businesses for her that all failed. Those details must have been coming from either her or Kevin. Therefore, if you look up Sharina, you will discover that she is a licensed massage therapist. But Kevin, using Wendy's money, paid for Sharina to attend massage school. When that didn't work out, Kevin made the decision to help her launch an unsuccessful online jewelry and closed business named Bish. Afterwards, Sharina started a real estate company, listing the address as her Morristown home, the same property that Kevin had purchased for her to live in with Wendy's money. Even worse, Wendy discovered that the house was only a few kilometers away from her own. We all engaged in paparazzi activities, and I read about it in blogs and tabloids. Nevertheless, the real estate industry failed again, much like every other industry. So in 2021, Sharina started a vegan business. To this day, she continues to focus on the fact that Wendy was the one who looked after their daughter Journey, and Kevin and Sharina after Wendy. And since I pay my alimony for all three of them on time each month, it seems that Kevin and Sharina had everything planned out. But perhaps they weren't prepared for the checks to stop coming in. I'm not sure if Wendy also intended to leave Kevin and Sharina for dead, or if it was just a coincidence that her circumstances made it difficult for her to pay alimony. Regardless, Kevin and Sharina are dead, Baroque, and now that all the money has vanished, Sharina is also apparently gone, having been forced to move back in with her mother. It seems like things are only going to get worse for them. But do you think Kevin and Sharina made Marided the bad luck they received? Do you think that their original goal was we appreciate you viewing, and we hope you will subscribe to our channel to see more celebrity videos. Don't forget to like and comment, as well as share this video with your friends and family.